Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. We continue onwards with Flash against JaeDong. I actually misspoke before. It is not 4 games. It is 5 ladder games that they played in a rapid succession. So pretty fun to see the differences in play, right? So we've seen a couple 15 CCs from Flash. One went into Valkyrie Rush with mech. The other one went into a bio into a tank push. JaeDong, you know, playing pretty standard, pretty normal. Honestly, for Zerg, it's like, I guess you do have some range. The very early game, you know, it's like, well, I mean, you could do a Zergling Rush, but generally in very good latency at high levels, you're not going to want to do that very often. And then it's like, okay, do you want to do 2 hatch or 3 hatch? 2 hatch is considered better at this point. Although 3 hatch still has a little bit of a place if you really are smart, like Shine. And then, you know, it's like, okay, well, once the layer is up and the mutas are out, there's a lot of different things you could do from there. Anyways, we're on Apocalypse now. And yeah, I guess we'll see if JaeDong can pick up a W. Honestly, I felt like he was outplaying Flash in game 1 and it just went haywire suddenly. That can happen. Game 2, I really think he should have won against that mech. Really think so. So definitely a bit of a mistake there. We'll see game 3. I hope he's not losing heart here. And, you know, while we kind of wait for this to get going, I do want to thank you guys for checking out ArtosisCasts, of course. I hope that you're enjoying this big mass of Flash games. And, you know, once we go through, it's like there's going to be stages, right? Like these are the earliest games of Flash, basically. And, like, I mean, maybe he played a little bit before and, like, reset an account or something. We just don't have those. But, you know, these are... like, these are definitely some of the early games. So, like, right now, it feels like we're watching Flash figure things out, and I think that we will get into a spot where it's like, oh, he's the best player in the world again. Okay, let's see what that looks like and what strats he's using. So I think what it'll probably look like is a whole bunch of games right now kind of checking where he's at, and then, you know, getting back into just a rotation of very strong players playing each other, and then probably jumping back in as he really rises through the ranks and figures out what he wants to do. That's kind of my guess. Anyways, you know, it's just a barracks expansion. Very normal stuff. Interesting that the one thing that's very different that he did here was depot here into barracks here. Not very common. Not very common to do something like that. Just throwing it out there. You know, it has a few things, like the mining is a lot better. If you want to build this depot out here, it screws up your economy quite a bit, right? Because you want to start this depot at like 54 through 56 seconds if you have the right side mineral patch. And if you try to send an SCV up here in time to make it there, you can't make it then because you're losing extra mining time, right? So it kind of screws things up. So you can get it completely on time here and then time this barracks out much easier. Anyways, a little 4 Marine move out right now. This definitely does help in that move out. This is actually really similar to what Flash was doing before. Let me see. Yeah, this is the... Yep. So this is very similar to how he was playing a year ago when he was active on the ladder. He really liked some of these early Marine move outs. So he's actually... a little bit of missed micro there. If this one had been firing, he would have actually pretty much traded evenly with those. But 2 lings do remain. And he's going to have to build a bunker now. He does have that second barracks going up. So this is actually something that I found. I think I mentioned it earlier that his TVZ was the most interesting to me when he was active last year. And it was because of moves like that, right? I talked a lot about how 2X Academy Rush isn't that good anymore. And so what he was doing was forcing 1 sunken a lot of games with a 4 to 5 Marine move out before any lings were out. And I think it's very smart, but it slows the Academy down quite a bit. Yeah, so you have to be a little bit careful with your scouting as well. So anyways, the bunker is up. The barracks, this is really interesting. He just left this barracks here this whole time. It does kind of like choke things up and make it harder to engage on the bunker. You have to come in a single line. Like, I tell you, really, like, he has so many little things that he does that no one else does. So we have the eBay on the way, Stim coming up. He has the 2 barracks. Pretty standard, pretty nothing too out of the ordinary, right? It's it's the 3 depot opener from Flash with 2 barracks, which not many people do. Again, like Sharp does it a little bit, and then Flash mostly. Although Sharp does it with a slightly faster academy, and Sharp does it with a slightly faster academy. Flash normally does it with a few more Marines. A lot of times, yeah. Anyways, getting a little bit too into the nitty-gritty. 3rd base coming up, and a couple scans went down from Flash. He's checking for a 3rd base, doesn't see it there. This one's actually more dangerous in a way because it rallies out the units more quickly. This is a more defensive 3rd for JaeDong. Muta's starting to fly out. Missile turrets have been started. Some Marines kind of walking back into a defensive spot. This is interesting, too, because this area is harassed by mutas quite often. So that's kind of an interesting bunker. Sets up some turrets here on the bottom. SV kind of left behind over there. And notice that it is a 2 barracks tech once again. So this is not how many people are playing right now, right? Right now, 3 barracks is pretty popular. Like either you go fast +1 and get 4 to 5, or you go 3 for kind of a more mid-range defense into your factory. But he's optimizing getting the factory a little bit quicker. He's sitting on the 2 barracks. He is nailing his production on that. All right, a little bit of harassment here from JaeDong. He's doing okay with it. Flash right now on a very healthy 39 SCVs. Is adding an additional barracks as well after that factory. Starport on the way. Is this going to be a Valkyrie build again? Let's take a look. No, actually, I mean, I'm sorry. It wasn't the Valkyrie build I was wondering. It was this tank push I was wondering. And I would say no, I don't think he has a tank push timing. But he might think he does. He might think he does. Let's see. No add-on yet. Look at this. A lot of missile turrets down here trying to defend this area, but JaeDong continually is slowing down those depots. Really, really annoying to deal with. And he does start that add-on. The hive has already started, though. So, like, I don't think that he can get a 2 siege tank push across the map before and break the natural before defilers have consumed. Because that really is the question, right? That's why we never see like 3 siege tank pushes anymore like we did in 2008, is because everyone defiler rushes. That really changed the face of this matchup. People finally realized exactly how ridiculous defilers can be. It's funny, JaeDong really harassing that barracks quite a bit, has to float it back, so loses a bit of production. A lot of mutas are out right now. Siege tank being made. Vessel going to be on the way, getting up to those 5 racks. Definitely need that 5 barracks production. JaeDong just kind of patrolling. There's the defiler mound, right? Siege tank is out. Yeah, I don't think there's a timing here. And look, he's going to even snipe it. Man, JaeDong looking really strong. Now, there are some things for Flash that are totally okay here, by the way. Like, in my opinion, I'm watching this, and I think JaeDong's ahead. I think he's got a better build here. He's got a better strategy going on. But Flash has 46 SCVs, so his production has been really good. His economy is insanely strong. He's going to be able to get his 3rd base up very cleanly. He's going to be able to switch it over from the siege tank production into 2 starport vessel with 2 engineering bays pretty quickly. Basically, when he's done on his rounds of siege tanks, I don't think he's going to start a 3rd siege tank. But he should be able to kind of get into a reasonable spot. you know, just because you're ahead in this early part of the game doesn't mean that a strong player can't just kind of like fight his way right back into it. Ooh, that vessel kill. That vessel kill was so good. Slowing it down there, it's like, how many scans does Flash have? He might want to run up here and just burrow and do a hold position and see if he catches Flash being greedy. There's actually ways you can fly your mutas too to make your opponent think that there's hold position lurkers nearby. Like when you come in from a funny angle and try to make them chase you in a certain direction. Right, a lot of bio coming out. Flash's macro just so on point. But JaeDong has a lot of supply. Consume is almost done, and you can see he is coming up. He did end up making that third siege tank. One siege tank is, like, worthless. You definitely want to make sure you have an additional one. But look at that. Consume is done before he gets there. That's all it is, you know, about these tank pushes. Is like, can you get there before Consume? And as soon as Consume's done, it's like, well, those tanks don't do anything. All right, so second starport, second eBay. That's what I was talking about before. He should... Ooh, he's going to lose the second vessel. When you only have one starport and you're losing this many vessels, that is so painful. JaeDong is in a demanding, or a dominating... Demanding. He's in a dominating position right now, in my opinion. Like, everything has gone very, very well for him. His Mutalist Harassment has been on point. He stopped this push completely. He's picked off the first two science vessels from a one starport build. Like, all of that... Dude, when you lose your first two vessels, even from a two starport build, you're like, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Like, you really need that irradiate damage to start stacking up if you're going to win. So right now, I'm looking at this, and it looks really good for JaeDong. Flash, you know, he's got his production, though. He's got a lot of units to play with. You can see his supply is super, super high right now. And, you know, if you keep your opponent... Wait, where's it? Darkstorm. Okay. If you keep your opponent contained on 3 bases, like, anything's possible. Zerg does need the 4th gas to win. Right? Like, right now it looks good for JaeDong, but we don't know what it's going to look like in a minute. All right. Gonna pick off some of these siege tanks here. Kind of interesting that he sacrifices the mutas so heavily, but they aren't as useful right now anyway. So he kills off the rest of the siege tanks. He doesn't want that added pressure. Yeah, Plague goes down on this little group. JaeDong doing a great job. He needs his 4th base now. That needs to be his complete focus, is getting that 4th base. Melee and carapace on the way. So that is +2 carapace, but +2 attack for the Marines is already coming up too. So Flash doing completely fine against Ultralisk tech. 3rd base coming up. Little bit later than I thought it would be. Flash's production really good, though, keeping those depots up as well. JaeDong trying to catch this army. He's going for a plague right now. And he will get that plague. So Flash actually could have killed the Defiler before he cut the plague off, but then he would have lost a vessel. So instead he targeted the one Marine on those Scourge to save the vessel's life. Can't... I think it's definitely better. I'd rather eat a plague than lose a vessel. Oh, Physics Lab. Okay. His vessel count is not super high. Now, battlecruisers, anytime your opponent goes for this type of strategy where they're going like carapace upgrades, they're going into ultras as opposed to a Hydra Lurker Defiler, it's... oh, man, he didn't have any energy. It's really good to go into battlecruisers. They can be really, really useful. Ooh. Chasing for those irradiates does not end up working out. Gets a couple of radiates off, but loses those vessels. And the thing is, he's already started battlecruiser production. So how many vessels are we actually going to have from Flash? Okay, so 4 vessels, and now BCs are coming. I mean, 4 vessels is pretty good. If he had kept 2 more, I would actually really like the position. Because he has denied the 4th base for a long time. The 4th base is finally up for JaeDong. Ooh, picks off another vessel. Really, really well done. And actually reducing the Marine count pretty significantly. Ultras are out. The +2 carapace is not done yet. Wow, big stim and spread against those 4 lurkers. Yeah, that's excellent. So now the Ultras, they don't have their speed upgrade, but they are equal to the Marines on upgrades right now. That's basically equal where we're at. 2 battle cruisers are going to be popping in just a few moments. Third base is up and mining. Probably should see another starport go down for Flash. The Ultras count is kind of scary. And the vessel count is not really that high. Should throw down and irradiate somewhere here. Oh god, he's going to lose that vessel. Okay, so it just sacrifices it, irradiates an Ultra. Not the biggest deal. Losing the vessel, much more painful than getting some damage on an Ultra. That is for sure. I think JaeDong is just going to swarm him. With the 4 bases up now, he's got some Defilers out. He's got the Ultras out. He's continuing those upgrades forward. His carapace +3 started right around the same time as the +3 attack. So his Ultras are never going to be weaker than the Marines. Just comes about numbers and engagements at that point. And yeah, notice 4 Scourge coming out and the Mutas being pulled over as well as the Plague. He's going to be able to clear these pretty well. If you still have some Mutas, the attack priority is higher on Mutas than it is on Scourge. So you just lead with the Mutas and they don't auto-target Scourge and then the Scourge all hit. Bam. Done. Very clean by JaeDong. Very, very clean. So Flash is roaming, okay? He's still got a lot of bio. He's still got a good economy. Oh, he loses 2 more vessels. So painful. We have 7 barracks up. And yeah, there's that 3rd starport I was talking about. Basically, you need 1 starport per gas. Now, the Ultra's coming in. This is a great surround from JaeDong. Look at this. He has got so many Ultras right now. And these actually attacking towards the high ground. GG is called. JaeDong gets his name on the board there. Honestly, I do feel like this series was close to being 3-0 in maybe either direction. But JaeDong going to be able to take down Flash. And so far, JaeDong 1 win, Flash 2. GG. Thanks for watching.